became friends.
Well, tell me who Jimmy is first.
Well, Jimmy is a legendary guitar player, and he played on everything from Stand By Your Man to The Gambler, and He Stopped Loving Her Today, and
everybody wanted him.
He played, but he came here as a teenager with the Louvin brothers. But Jimmy played, not only did he play on so many sessions, but he played on a lot of television shows. Back years and years ago, he played on the CMA award shows with the Bill Walker Orchestra for nearly 20 years. He played on the Statler Brothers shows. I can talk about him for forever because he did so many things. But he played on a lot of television specials, but he played on the Grand Ole Opry starting when he was a teenager. And
when he was a teenager?
He was a teenager with the Louvin brothers. And when he passed away, he had been on the Opry for over 61 years, longer than any musician has ever been on the Opry. And on his 60th Opry anniversary, the Grand Ole Opry named the band room, we all called it the band room, they named it the Jimmy Capps Music Room. And so when Jimmy passed away June 1st of 2020, Charlie and Hazel, I had met Hazel, but I knew Charlie more because of the Opry. They were trying to comfort me. And a month and a week to the day, Charlie passed away. And so Hazel reached out to me, and we just feel like that God has put us in each other's lives, and she's helped me through some of the toughest times of my life, and I pray that I have her. So she's really been a blessing to me. What a dear lady. What a dear lady. If Charlie Daniels loved her, she was a dear lady. And he did. He did. He treated her like a queen that she is.
Let's talk about the time that Jimmy passed during COVID.
Yeah.
But he didn't have
He
COVID.
never got COVID. He never got COVID. It started out with vertigo, and he had had vertigo before, so we just thought it was an inner ear thing. But apparently, he had some internal bleeding, and they didn't find it in time, and so he passed away from that. So we weren't expecting it. In fact, until the day he passed away, we didn't know what was going to happen.
And it was a hard time during that season because you couldn't really spend time with him, could you?
When he was in the hospital each time, I could not be with him. And so it really made it hard. But the last few days, I was blessed to get to spend the last 5 days with him. And so I'm thankful for that, But we didn't know it was our last 5 days by any means. But so the day he passed away, it was quite a shock to me.
I know it's been very hard. A lot of people.
It haunts me still. One of my favorite sayings that Jimmy said was, if you're patting yourself on the back, no one else has a chance to. And it only means something when it comes from someone else.
So true.
That was who he was. And so he's not patting himself on the back. Me and all the people who loved him will do it for him, And of course, he's in a better place than all of us.
How has your faith gotten you through this?
Oh my. When he was really sick and I was kneeling at my chair, but I'm just crying and wailing, and I'm like, God, what, how can I do this? What, please heal him. I was begging God to heal him. And it was like I felt and heard at the same time. And I'd never had this happen as much as I had grown up in church and had the gift of the Holy Ghost and, all of these things. But I'd never felt this. But I felt and heard him say, trust me, trust me. I immediately stopped crying and I said, God, I do trust you. And I didn't realize, I thought it meant that Jimmy was going to be healed. I didn't know that it meant it was going to be okay for him. Trusting God that Jimmy was going to be okay. And then after he passed away, I'm kneeling at that same chair, and I couldn't understand why the doctors couldn't find what was wrong in time. And so I'm just praying and crying and like, Lord, how could they have missed this? How could this have happened? And once again, and this is only the second time and only time this has ever happened, I felt and heard him say, I don't make mistakes.